What is up, guys? Eben here. Welcome to episode 1 of the Level Up series. These videos are here to help you prepare for Classic launch and beyond. We will discuss ways to help you level up your knowledge in all things Classic WoW. In today's episode, we will cover Murphy's Law and the initial minutes, hours, and days of launch of Classic servers. So, what is Murphy's Law? Well, to put things simply, Murphy's Law is an adage that anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Murphy's Law should be a key part of anyone's action plan, whether it's law enforcement, company launches, or disaster relief efforts. You should always be prepared for the worst. Blizzard themselves are likely preparing for many outcomes of server launch. Too many players, too few, server crashes, unseen bugs, or software issues all will be discussed within Blizzard. If Blizzard themselves are looking at all these issues, we as players should be just as prepared. So the first thing to be prepared for is connectivity issues. Plan to have trouble logging in, waiting in queues, server crashes, and overall lag and chaos for the first few days. This means that there are many thousands, if not millions of players all trying to log into World of Warcraft servers, make characters, connect with friends, and overall play World of Warcraft Classic. So now that we know that connectivity issues, logging in, and server troubles could possibly be an issue on the first few days of launch, how can we prepare for that? Well, we know that patience oftentimes the best solution for things like this. We'll have to wait in queues, we'll have to be patient while servers come back online, and we'll have to understand that the first few days might be rocky. Connectivity issues and server stability leads us to our next problem, leveling options. It's best to have a few options and solutions set up ahead of time. If the starting areas are sharded and you're able to log in right away, rushing through starting quests might be your best bet. If you cannot connect, or you're stuck in queue, you may find yourself logging in while others are already killing boars, slaying skeletons, and smashing peon skulls. In this case, it might benefit you to have an alternative route. Grinding or gaining exploratory experience might actually work out for you. So in preparing for the worst and having many leveling options ready at your disposal, this leads us to our next point, which is focus on getting ahead. I can't stress this enough. This one is big. If Blizzard is true to their word, only starting areas should be sharded. That means while Mulgore, Elwyn Forest, and Teldrassil might be relatively quiet, the Barrens, Westfall, and Darkshore could be extremely chaotic and downright miserable if you can't pull ahead of the average leveler. Our next point is WoW is an MMO. So make sure your friends and your guild all have a plan of action. Even something simple is better than nothing. Once server names are announced, having a server chosen for friends and guildies to roll on is important, but it also could be beneficial to have a backup server chosen as well. If your main server fills far too quickly, or you learn of a faction imbalance, or well-known streamers or guilds are rolling on that server, you may want to seek out a second option. If you plan to play or level with friends, having your classes and roles hashed out ahead of time can lead to better group synergy and an easier time once you find yourselves reaching max level. Basic things like knowing friends' schedules or understanding average play times is also very important. You don't want to go into Classic thinking you're going to level with Bob when Bob turns out to be an altaholic, loves to level professions, and can only commit a few hours a day with his busy schedule. Last but not least, guys, I know a lot of these tips seem trivial, and many of you have already thought of these things, or you are thinking, it's just a game. Do you really need to go so in depth with the planning? But the truth is, lots of people have been waiting years for Classic WoW to come out. They plan to take time off work, to group up with friends, and to delve into the best game in the world for a true, fresh, classic experience. So when you know you are up against thousands of people who are this passionate for a game, a little planning could go a long way. So this is where you guys come in. I'm a WoW player just like all of you, and I am sure I missed some things. I want to be just as prepared for Classic as all of you are. So in the comments, share any tips you might have or things that I could have missed out on. What could go wrong? How best to prepare? And any other suggestions you have. I hope you enjoyed leveling up with me. That's the end of episode 1. See you in episode 2.